Alright, ladies and gentlemen, today is iPhone Day. I've been putting off this video for so long because I don't even like doing this drawing myself. It's very complex. There's a lot of dimensions. There's a lot of very precise and specific little points on the drawing that are a little bit more challenging. So if you can do this drawing, that is pretty good. That makes you an advanced wizard when it comes to CAD. Alright, so here we go. We got our iPhone up on the screen. We're going to be drawing inside of our title block. We're obviously going to start with our diagonal line like we always do. We go into our construction line. Don't need those. Do our offsets for the size of the box. Let me draw your attention to this text down here. We got a couple things. It says use the box size 8 3/4 by 5 11/16. So what that means is that from the very bottom of the phone to the very top of the phone is going to be 5 11/16. From the very left of the phone, not including the buttons, so forget about the buttons for a second, from the very left of the phone to the very right of the phone is going to be your 8 3/4. So I gave you the numbers down here. Half of 8 3/4 is 4 3/8. Half of 5 11/16 is 2 27/32. Now you can get these numbers on your own by just splitting those numbers in half or by using a calculator, totally up to you. But I gave them to you because they're a little bit more challenging of numbers. Alright, so here we go. 4 3/8 is our left and right. So we go offset 4 3/8. We got to make our box size first. Then we've got, what was it, 2 27/32. 2 27/32. Top and bottom, fillet, radius 0 for rounding corners. Maybe hit multiple if you can see yours. I can't see mine. Maybe I can type it. There we go. Alright, get rid of the middle stuff. Although, yeah, get rid of the middle stuff. I'm going to draw a new line here because that's going to be where the center face is. Okay. So, next thing, how wide is each phone? Basically what you're doing is you're looking at the side view, you're looking at the top view, you're looking at the back view, okay, or front back view, okay. 2 3/4. So the next thing you would do is do an offset of 2 3/4 from here to here and from here to here. To get the width of the side profile is 1/4. Half of 1/4, since we have the middle line and we're going to find the left and the right side of it, or the front and back of the phone, would be 1/8. So you're going to go 1/8 left, 1/8 right, get rid of the middle line. Okay. Now we can trim a couple things. We can get rid of these. We can get rid of these. Let's see. Right down here, this is a perfect curve in that 1/4. So you know that if it was a fillet radius 1/4, that we'd be able to, wrong size, sorry, fillet radius, it would be 1/8, and we got to go like that, and then we go like that. So let's do the same thing for the top. Okay, next thing, how about the radius of the very outside curve and the next one in, 3/8 and 5/16, and that's going to be all the way around the phone. Let's see what those numbers were again. 3/8, 5/16. So we go fillet, radius, 3/8. Lots of fillets in this one. 3/8, 3/8. All the way around on all the views, or I should say just on the front and back. Now, fillet, radius, 5/16. Actually, I'm sorry, before we can do that, we have to take these and we got to offset them in. So here's what you want to do. You want to take this and you want to take this and you're going to type join. What that's going to do is that's going to turn them into two different polylines, okay? The reason for that, and this is actually going to skip that next fillet too, we won't have to do it. The reason for that is that we can offset whatever the distance is between those two lines. So we've got basically, like, this is a beveled end. That's kind of, beveled means that it's round, like it's going around. So what we can do is we can just offset 1/16 in, and that's going to give us the next line in. So offset 1/16, that's going to come in, and that's going to come in. Okay, now we're kind of looking at like the back of the phone here. Let's see, we have, what do we want to do next? Oh, it's so much fun. Let's do the buttons next, I guess. What we'll do is we got to look down the middle. Okay. Oh man, I hate this drawing. I hate it so much. I don't even know if I want to make you guys do this drawing. Alright, whatever, here we go. Okay, so 3/4 down from the very top gets you to the top of the sleep wake button. Okay, So 3/4 and then 3/16. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little line here that is somewhere from there to there, okay, just for now. So 3/4 down and then 3/16 down. That's going to be the top and bottom of the sleep wake button. Okay, that's like that little switch on the side that you turn for, like, you know, silent or whatever. All right, so you trim those, you put a line down the middle of them. Now we've got the center of it. Down the middle is this line right here. The entire width is 1/16. Half of that is 1/32. We go 1/32 left, 1/32 right, and then we have radius 1/64 for the fillets. So we're gonna go, here we go, 1/32 left, 1/32 right, trim, whoops, fillet, radius 1/64. One of the sides is gonna look like the actual button, like the little switch, and then the other side we got to take a line from here now and connect to here, and then do another fillet radius 1/64, and it's supposed to look like that button can be in this position, or you could flip it over and be in that position. Okay, so that part's done. All right, yeah, I guess I'll leave that line for now. All right, so that was that one. Next button is 1/4 down from the bottom of that one. Okay, so actually I probably will erase that line at the top. We really don't need that anymore. But 1/4 down from there is going to get us to the top of the curve, and then 3/8 down gets us to the bottom of the curve, and then another 1/8 gets us to the next one, and then 3/8 down to the bottom of the next curve. Okay, these buttons are a radius of 1/32. So we're going to make the boxes for them first. So if I'm going off the bottom of this, I'm going to do an offset down 1/4 and then 3/8. So here we go. Offset 1/4 is the spacing between them, and 3/8 is how tall the button is. Okay, we need a line down the midpoint. We need to do an offset of 1/32. Okay, we don't need these little lines anymore because those are going to be fillets. Don't need the middle line anymore. Actually, I'm sorry, we need those because in order to do our fillet, we're going to have to choose those lines. So let's extend those lines and make a box out of it. All right, and then we're going to do fillet radius 1/32. Gotta zoom in on this stuff. These numbers are so tiny because if you ever look at an iPhone, there's a lot going on those iPhones. All right, so we got something like this. Okay, that is our button, and we need 2 of them, and there is a spacing of, what was it, 1/8 between them. So if I go like this and then I do an offset of 1/8 down, that gives me the top of the next one. So I'm going to grab this button, I'm going to move it from the very top to this line. I didn't want to move, I wanted to copy. How many mistakes am I going to make in this crazy drawing? We'll see what happens. Alright, copy. By the way, all these drawings, for any of those people that are out there in the world, I made all these drawings. There's no other copy of these drawings anywhere. I didn't take them from the internet or anything like that. They're all mine. So, now it's also important to note that somebody that's designing an iPhone is really using millimeters. They're not using like inches and 16ths and 32nds. But we're an architecture class and we use an architectural scale, so we stick with imperial numbers. All right. For my students, that really doesn't matter because, you know, we're never going to learn millimeters, and that's why we don't do it that way. All right. So we made a copy. Okay. We got the buttons. Now, with the buttons stick off the side of the phone by 1/32. And even though this is curving around, it's still going to look like it's just a square button from the side profile. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a construction line, X line, and we're going to go off of this point, same 2 on this button, top and bottom of the sleep wake button, and that's going to tell us where these buttons are going to sit on the left side of the front view and on the right side of the rear view, because you're just flipping the phone over, right? So rather than doing all this crazy trimming, what I would probably do is I'd probably start here and draw out 1/32, and that's behind that big line now. Then come down and then go in. right? So if I were to erase these, you would have that button there. Okay, but don't do that yet because we need them on the far side. So we're going to do the same thing for each button. We're going to start here. We're going to go out 1/32. We're going to go down, and then we're going to go in. Out 1/32. Down, in. All right, so those three are done. And actually, you know what? We can erase these because what we could do is just select these buttons and mirror them over. Whoops. Let's try that again. So you got to zoom in, otherwise you're going to get random places that you don't want to accidentally get from. See, I'm getting weird points up here, so we got to be careful. Right over that, erase the source, no. Get rid of this line. So now we got our buttons, okay? So it's coming along here. It's just very annoying. It's a very tedious drawing. Now we got the power button, okay? Same thing. It comes out 1/32. We got to find the position of it. So looking at this view, from the very top of the phone, 1 5/16 down, and then 5/8. 1 5/16 down, and then 5/8. So let's go like this. Let's draw a line from here, and this is just like a little bit of a dummy line. Doesn't matter how far it goes. 1 5/16 down. That's the top of the button. Offset 5/8. Again, both these lines are going to be erased. So we're just going to start right here. We're going to go out on the green line. 1/32. We come down. We go in. Now we get rid of these lines. We have our button. Same thing. We'll take that button. We'll mirror it over that point. Erase the source. No. Okay, and when I say things like that, keep your eyes down here because it's always asking questions. I know what the questions are, and that's why I just say it, but you should be looking down there to read, hey, what is it asking me? It's asking to know if it wants to erase the source button for that mirror, like the beginning one that we grabbed. Okay, and our answer is no because we want to keep both. All right. Okay. Oh boy, what is next? How about the antenna lines? Okay, the phones have like little bands of antennas that go around the outside. So let's take a look at those real quick. So let's see where we have measurements. We have, okay, so you got one here, you got one up there, you got one here. So there's basically 2 on each corner. And all we got to do is we got to do one set of them, and then we can mirror them that way, and then we can take 4 and mirror them up. So we've got, let's see, this tells us the band itself is 3/32, but that doesn't help us say where the position is. We've got, okay, this helps. 1/2 in gets us to this one, then 3/32 back. So if I'm here, whoops, again, be careful. I'm going to go like that again, another dummy line. What was that number? 1/2. 1/2 over, and then 3/32 back. And get rid of this, and now these we can just trim, and that's our first antenna line. Okay, so that is going to get mirrored over the middle. Erase the source, no. And then these 2 are going to get mirrored over the midpoint of that. Erase the source, no. Now we got them on the bottom. And then we could take these and mirror them over the middle of the phone again. Ah, I messed up. Let's try that again. Make sure that you stay directly on the green line, unlike myself. Mirror like that. Erase the source, no. So we got all the top and bottom ones done. Okay, next one, same thing, 1/2 inch down, 3/32 back up. So we'll go over here. We're starting from here, dummy line, 1/2 inch down. You should have seen me one day when I was doing all these measurements. I had a phone out and I was taking like this tiny little tape measure and getting all the measurements. It's pretty crazy, but it's actually very accurate. So there goes that. I'm just like tooting my own horn over here, you know what I mean? All right. Oop. Offset 3/32, and you go back up, get rid of this one. Trim, trim. Now you can draw all these if you want. There's 7 more, but I think mirroring's a lot easier. So let's take these 2. Let's mirror them over the middle. Erase the source, no. Let's take those, mirror them over the center of the phone or the midpoint of the phone, no. And then let's take those. You don't even have to do a mirror here. You can actually do a copy too. If you grab a common point, like we have this bottom left point, we can put that bottom left. Alright, so we got all of that. Okay, let's see. How about, what else is back here? We got, let's just get this iPhone text out of the way. That iPhone text is a text height is 0.125. Okay, so that's 1/8 of an inch tall. So you're just going to make a text box. You're going to do 1/8 inch. So here, we go over here and do it. And the measurement of it is about 1.5 inches from this line. Okay, so if we go from the midpoint here and go 1.5, that'll tell us roughly where that text is. It doesn't have to be perfect. You're going to go to single line text, click anywhere. It's going to ask you for the height, do 1/8, and then type, oop, did I mess that up? Rotation angle 0, and then, why does it keep asking me that? Hold on one second. Oh, I keep messing the number up. Let's try that again. Single line, click, 1/8, 0. Okay, now iPhone, lowercase I, click off, hit escape. Somewhere like that. Get rid of the line. Alright, close enough. Oh man, I really don't want to do the cameras. I hate the cameras. Alright, we'll do the cameras. Oh. Okay, the cameras. 1/2 inch gets you to the center of the cameras. All the way down. 1/2 inch gets you to the center of the top camera. And then 13/32 gets you to the center of the bottom. And then halfway between that is the quadruple flash that's on the phone. And then from that point, we're going to build a box. We're going to do some offsets and some fillets. So let's find out where the circles are first. So 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch, 13/32. Okay, and this is on the back of the phone. So off of this, offset 1/2. That's going to be the middle of the top lens here. 13/32. And then we actually need one going this way as well, 1/2. So where these meet each other, bring this down, bring these over. We wanted those 2 points. It's a lot of work to get 2 points, but that's what we had to do. Get rid of these 2 lines. Okay. So now, what are the size of those circles? We've got a radius 1/32, radius 3/32, and then we'll get to the next ones in a second. 1/32, 3/32. My mind is a little slow today. 1/32, 3/32. Okay, so we got that camera. I wonder if the other ones are the same size. 1/32, 1/32 and 1/16. That camera's a little smaller because I think one of those cameras is like the portrait mode camera or something. The one is a further zoom or something like that. Now this phone is actually 1 year old right now. I did not feel like redoing the plan because I just did it last year, but probably next year I'll do the new phone for next year. Alright, 1/32 and 1/16. Those are radius numbers. Oops. 1/32, 1/16. My one light keeps flashing. I don't know why. Alright, so we got that stuff. Okay, now in the middle of that, so to get the middle of that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim right there and get this line out of there. And I'm going to leave this though. We're going to need that in a minute. And then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to trim right there. The reason why I did that is because now I have a line that's going perfectly from the center of one to the center of the other, which means that the midpoint is exactly where I want it to go. Watch the midpoint as I move this down. The midpoint moves. So if that line's too long, you're not going to get a true center there. You need it to go from one point to the other. So looking back over here, we have a radius of 1/16, and it's split into 4 quadrants. So radius, midpoint, 1/16. Get rid of this line. I would go here with your line. I would move up, click on the intersection, and go down. And then start a new line and slide over, click, and click. Don't get in the habit of making 2 different lines, like one there and then one there, for something that is supposed to be one line. That's only going to mess you up later when we go to do 3D stuff. So we want one solid line going across, one solid line going up and down. Okay, so those are done. I actually do want my line back in here. I shouldn't have erased that because that's going to need to be for my offsets for these next radius parts out here, because this part is like a little raised off the phone. Okay, so we've got 5/32 radius, and then what's the outside one? 3/16. 5/32 and 3/16, and that's also your offset numbers. 5/32 to go to the right and left. 3/16, right, left. We might as well, let's see, what's the best way to do this? Alright, well, yeah, we'll go like this, okay? So we'll do offset 5/32, also up and down, and 3/16 also up and down. Alright, so here we go. Fillet, radius, 5/32. That's going to be the inside one. Inside to inside. Inside to inside. Inside to inside. Now remember, you can't click this circle here. You got to click this line. Inside to inside. Alright? Now, next one. Fillet, radius, 3/16. Outside, 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 outside. Boom. Done. Get rid of these extra lines. 2 cameras. 4... I don't even know what the word is right now. 4 flashes. Alright? That part's done. And I think the back of the phone's done, except for the Apple logo. We're going to do that last because that's a pain in the butt. Okay, now, next thing. There is also a 1/16 space here to get to the actual screen. So if I do my offset, 1/16, there I am. But this part comes in. Remember, they got that notch up there. So we got to do a little bit of work here. So take this and explode this because we're going to have to do some work to it. That pulls all those lines back apart. We need to, 11/16 is where it comes down, and 11/16 from the other side, and the full depth of it is 7/16 from the top. So 11/16 and 7/16. Now that 11/16 was off of the very outside of the phone, and so is the 7/16. So offset 11, I can't see if I typed that right, 11/16. Let's make sure we're still recording. Always love to do that. Okay, so we got that one. Get rid of this. Mirror. MI. What do you want to mirror? Over the midpoint. Erase the source. No. Now, another dummy line off the top going this way. I actually could just draw it like all the way across. That'd probably make it easier. But I like to draw them like super long. That way I don't forget that that line's there and I know that I have to erase it. Offset 7/16. That gets us from there to the bottom. Get rid of this. You might as well trim there and there. Erase these. And then we got to do some fillets. So we've got a fillet radius 3/32. 3/32. Ooh, those are different. Those are 1/16. 1/16. 3/32. 3/32. 1/16. Fillet radius 1/16. That's going to go from here to here. Now notice how it takes the rest of that line. So I got to put another line back in. Fillet radius 1/16. Okay. Fillet radius 3/32. Like that. Alright. Last thing to do. There's no home button anymore. We got to do the cameras up here. We're going to do a hatch pattern on the screen. I think we're missing something on the side view. We're missing antenna lines, and we're missing this little screen here. That's where the actual LCD screen is. So 1/32 over, that's an easy thing. Offset 1/32. Now you just got to go to extend and hit an additional enter. Makes it quick extend. Extend that to the end. Extend that to the end. That part's done, right? And the antenna lines, those are actually really easy to do now because we know where they are. So if I do a construction line off of that and that, again, I think the easiest way to do this would not be to trim it because those lines are so long, but to go there and then erase the lines and you get the antenna lines. Same thing for the top. X line. So by the way, you guys probably hear me clicking a lot when I'm doing that stuff, and I'm not really moving my hands very much. I don't know if you can even see my hands. What I do is so instead of going up and hitting escape to get out of a tool and then hit spacebar to go back into a tool, like if I'm doing fillet radius or something, I actually hit spacebar twice because spacebar also, it acts as escape and it also acts as enter. So what I can do here is, let's see, what did I just do? Let's do this again. X line. I go off of here and I click. Now I'm done with this one and I want to start another one. So instead of hitting escape, I hit spacebar. Then I hit spacebar again. So you'll hear it real quick. It's like a doot doot. I hit spacebar twice and then it brings me right back in. It's a lot faster than moving your hand going up to escape, trying to find where that key is, and then trying to find where the spacebar is once again. Okay. So I mean, listen, you're saving like a split second, but you save a split. See, that was a double right there. You save a split second every single time you do that, and that's a lot of time by the end of the drawing. Okay, so we got antenna lines. All right. Okay, cameras at the top. Ugh. All right. From this line. Nope. Yeah. 35/64 to get to the center of this speaker. All right. And then from that line, so they're not exactly, wait, that gets you to that. Sorry, 27/64 to the center of these two circles. So let's do that one first, 27/64. I can't just offset it and grab the midpoint. I also need to do the depth of it, which would be how low, and that's this number, 1/4 going across. So maybe I'll do that line first. So if I do another big line up here, all the way across, and I go offset 1/4, that's going to be where the middle of that stuff goes. Okay. Now 27, what was it? 27/64 or something? 27/64 from this line gets you to the center of the two circles. Okay. And then 35/64 from this line in gets you to the center of the left part of that speaker. To get to the right part of the speaker, we need to go 9/32. Okay, so offset 9/32. So now we've got some of the lines that we need. Okay, I'm gonna get rid of no, I'm gonna keep it. Let's do these circles first on the right side. These are radius 1/64, radius 1/32. So radius 1/64. Radius 1/32. This is the hardest drawing that you'll do. I don't care, even if it's all the 3D stuff that we do, this is definitely the hardest one that we do. As you can tell, I don't even like doing it. It's definitely not enjoyable, but it's rewarding at the end because you're literally making a plan of an iPhone, which is pretty cool. But it's very tedious. I make this worth a lot of points too because this one is a big one. All right. So okay, we don't need this line anymore, and I don't need. Now we're going to keep that for now. So we keep those three. Okay. So the radius of this, okay, 1/64 radius is around here and around here. Now if that's 1/64 of a radius, that means I have to offset up 1/64 and down 1/64 and then do my fillets. Also, don't forget that this is the center of that circle. So you even could do this. You could go, this might be easier actually. If you go radius at this point, 1/64 and 1/64, then if you take a line from the top to top and whoops, bottom to bottom, now we can just erase this stuff and trim our circles. Boom, done. Okay, so this plan is done. We've got two things to go now. We got to do hatch pattern. I don't care what hatch pattern you put on this thing, it doesn't matter to me. Put it on the screen and hit enter. At this point, I'd probably do my line weights, which I should draw your attention back to over here. You're going to use 0.6 millimeters for your line weights because if you make it 0.7, you won't see all the little stuff. Even 0.5 would probably be better too because the thicker those lines are, when you print it out, it just will look like a big black blob. Okay, so yeah, use either 0.5 or 0.6. In your DDIM settings, when you guys go to dimension, by the way, I'm not doing any dimensions. You guys are doing dimensions. I've done this drawing enough times. Measure 1/4 to the first dim line and 1/4 to from the first to the second. So you're not going to do 3/8 1/4 on this one. You're going to do 1/4 1/4 just so that everything fits. Use 1/16 as your arrow size and text height. Use 1/64 as your precision, and that's under the primary units tab. So don't forget to do that. Okay. All right. So Apple logo. Probably do line weights at this point. We'll say 0.6. Apple logo. Apple logo's in the middle of the screen. It's 1 5/8 down from the very top of the phone. So again, I'm going to go like this. I'm actually just going to go like this. I'm going to go from there to there, and I'm going to find that line that I just drew, and I'm going to move it down 1 5/8. And the reason why I did that is that now this does actually have a true midpoint because I drew it from the right side of this to the left side of that, which is centered on the phone. It's all symmetrical. So that'll be the center of where that goes. If you do, I want to say, oh crap, I forget, but I think it's a, here, let's take a look. I think it's a radius of 1/4. That's about the size of the Apple logo, okay? So if you do that, you can get a general idea of what it should look like when we're done. So I like to do that, okay? Okay, the Apple logo. Oh boy, I gotta readjust here. You are going to go to the internet, okay? And you're gonna Google Apple logo. Let me bring this on the right screen, okay? And go to images. Find an Apple logo that you like, okay? I don't know, I guess this one's good. And go to, I think you gotta right click on it. You're gonna do save image as. For me, I'm just going to save it on my desktop, I guess, but for you guys, you're going to save it in your, you know what, I'll save it in documents too. Save it in documents, call it whatever, doesn't really matter, and then close the internet. And now you're going to go to insert, attach. You're going to find that image, which for me is now in documents. I think that's it. And then just hit OK here. Don't worry about any of these settings. Now it wants to know where you want to put it. Click. And then it wants to know how big. For now, just make it whatever. Okay? We need to take this, we're going to trace it, and then we're going to size it down to be the right scale. Okay? So, you know, you can leave it out here or something like that. And at this point, I'm actually going to get rid of this too. No, actually, I don't want to do that. Sorry. Because I don't want to mess up my file. So it's a little big right now, but we're going to trace it first, and then we're going to hatch pattern it, and then we're going to scale it, and then we're going to move it into place, okay? Or move it into place and then scale it. So here's how you do that. Go back to Home, Draw. You're going to go to Spline CV, okay? The way that this works is that every click you make, it's going to keep rounding from those points, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to hug the outside of this, but before I do that, I'm going to put, like, I'm not in any tools right now. I hit escape. I'm going to go to a little bit of a line weight, like a 0.5, and I'm going to change the color, okay? I don't want it to be black or white right now. I'm going to make it red. So, and you could always change that back later. You have to change it back later. Okay, Spline CV. Click at a starting point. And as you go around, you'll see what you have to do to get it to kind of curve. It's not going to be perfect. It's going to come out super rough. But when you get to an end point like this, where it's going to start kicking a totally different direction, hit enter. So now you're like that. Now I really didn't love that. I kind of messed that up. So I could play with these points a little bit too. Although it's hard to see your cursor on the white background. There we go. That's a little better. And then my start point wasn't so great. Okay, see, it's fine. It doesn't need to be anything better than that. Trust me, you're not going to be able to tell. Okay, now back to Spline CV. You can snap at this point. I like to click 1. So this tool's actually working different than what it did. Damn, why are they going to mess stuff up? If I click that endpoint, that's where it should start. Yeah, okay, there. Maybe I messed up. I'm sorry. But it's also pretty far off of what I'm trying to do. I mean, it doesn't matter. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect, but it used to be a little bit better than that. Alright, hit enter. Start again. See, if I'm clicking right on this black to white area, it should hug that area, okay? Alright, so now you guys get the idea here. So just go all the way around, right? And when you get to the end, make sure you close it, and then hit enter, okay? So let's just say this is my shape, alright? What I'm going to do with my different pieces is I'm going to join them together. That's going to make one spline, it's called, okay? And you're going to do the top part too. When you have that fully traced, you erase the image. You take this piece, you move it roughly centered on that circle. Use scale, select this, hit enter, go at the middle of the circle and scale it until you think it's about the right size. Probably something like that. Whoops. Click again. Why will that not scale? There we go. I don't know why that wasn't working. And then get rid of the circle. Then your Apple logo is in the middle of the screen. You change it back to be the white color, so you can just use match properties, click something white, click on there. You do your hatch pattern. You want to do a solid hatch and fill both parts of those in. And then you're done. You got to do dimensions. You guys got to do dimensions. All right, that's pretty much it. Okay, that's the iPhone, and that was in 36 minutes. Let's go, baby. So have fun with that drawing, all right, because that one is a tough one. But I'm serious. If you can do that drawing, you are a wizard. I'm not just saying that to be funny. I'm telling you, it's not easy to do that drawing, and you are an AutoCAD wizard, all right? Have fun. I will see you guys in class, and anybody else out there in the world, enjoy. See you later.